Hello, and welcome to the Literary Research Tutorial, brought to you by the University Writing Center. I'm Robert Monge, an Instructional Services Librarian at the ID Weeks Library, and I'll be your guide. If you have any questions about using materials in this tutorial, please feel free to contact me. I can be reached via email at robert.monge@usd.edu. You can also stop by the reference desk on the first floor of the library for assistance. In this tutorial, we will highlight some background resources, look at some useful print resources, explore 4 literary research databases. The first of our background resources is Benet's Reader's Encyclopedia. This is a 1-volume literary encyclopedia. It includes brief entries describing authors, books, characters, and genres. This book is especially helpful in getting a quick handle on terms, people, or references you may not be familiar with. For example, you might want to look up the term onomatopoeia. Or say you notice in Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven that the troublesome bird perches on the bust of Pallas Athena. Benet's contains an entry on Pallas Athena, as well as The Raven and Edgar Allan Poe. Benet's Reader's Encyclopedia can be located on the first floor reference PN41.B41987. Another useful background resource is A Handbook to Literature by Harman and Holman. This book discusses and defines various literary terms. While not exhaustive, it provides a solid foundation for understanding terms common to the discussion of literature. For example, if you're having trouble with T.S. Eliot in the objective correlative, you can look up objective correlative and find a paragraph explanation of the term. And this book can really help clear the muddied waters once terms like deconstruction, post-structuralism, and postmodernism get thrown around. A Handbook to Literature can be found on the first floor reference, PN41H355200. There are a variety of literary dictionaries and encyclopedias available to you, including Historical Dictionary of Science Fiction, Oxford Companion to African American Literature, Encyclopedia of Feminist Literature, a Dictionary of Literary Symbols. In fact, almost every genre and subdivision of literature has its own encyclopedia and dictionary to help you figure it all out. That completes our first goal, highlight background resources. Now let's look at some useful print resources. The first source we'll look at is A Dictionary of Literary Biography. First floor reference PN451.D57. This is a multi-volume set providing brief biographical sketches of various authors. Each volume in the set centers on a particular group of writers. For example, Volume 108 covers 20th century Spanish poets. Volume 90 covers German writers in the age of Goethe, 1789 to 1832. Volume 86 covers American short story writers, 1910 to 1945. It is organized by cumulative index. A cumulative index lists where to find entries in a multi-volume set. As a new volume is published, the cumulative index will include the new entries as well as all previous entries published in the multi-volume set. To find an entry, look up your topic in the most recent volume's cumulative index. Determine which volume your topic is listed. Locate that volume. Look up your topic. It's usually alphabetical. If you have any difficulties, please contact the reference librarian. When it comes to locating criticism, you might want to begin with Contemporary Literary Criticism. First floor reference PN771.C59. Each entry includes a picture of the author, an introduction to the author and their work, list of principal works, reprinted criticism with annotation explaining each piece, bibliographic citations, and if possible, an author interview. Use if author is now living or for authors who died after December 31st, 1999. Other series of criticism that use the same format include 20th Century Literary Criticism, reference First Floor, PN 771.G27, used if the author died between 1900 and 1999. 19th Century Literature Criticism, reference First Floor, PN 761.N5, used if author died between 1800 and 1899. Literature Criticism from 1400 to 1800, excluding Shakespeare, reference First Floor, PN 86.L53, used if author died between 1400 and 1799. And finally, Shakespearean Criticism, reference First Floor, PN 2965.S44, contains criticism of Shakespeare's plays and poetry from the first published appraisals to current evaluations. If your focus is on short stories, two useful sources are Short Story Criticism, reference First Floor, PN 3375.S386, Critical Survey of Short Fiction, reference First Floor, PN 3321C7. These are especially helpful if you need background on a particular story. We have accomplished two of our goals: highlight background resources and look at some useful print resources. Now let's look at our final goal: explore 4 literary research databases. To access any of the research databases, go to the IDWeeks Library homepage, www.usd.edu/LIBRARY. Or from the USD homepage, click on Academics, scroll down to Libraries, and click on IDWeeks. From the library homepage, select Research Databases. This will bring up an alphabetical listing. Simply click on the letter of the database you're looking for. In any of the databases, you will come across one of 3 ways to retrieve an article. Articles can be retrieved full text in PDF or HTML format. PDF format will produce a scanned copy of the article as it appeared in the journal with page numbers and complete citation information. HTML will appear as a web page. Page numbers may or may not be included. You can also retrieve an article through Interlibrary Loan by clicking on Send Request to IDWeeks Library. If you do not have an Interlibrary Loan account the first time you send a request, you'll be asked to create one. Articles will then be sent to you via email. Articles through Interlibrary Loan take anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks for delivery. The last way of retrieving an article is to see if it's in another database or in print. This will be listed as Journals, check USD Access. This will provide you with a list of databases where the article might be found, or if it is in the IDWeeks print journal collection. One of the best places to begin your research is MLA International Bibliography. It provides an extensive coverage of journal articles and other critical scholarship regarding modern literature, language, linguistics, and folklore. It is a subject-specific database and will focus exclusively on these topics. JSTOR is another useful database. It provides journal articles dating back to the 1800s. While a multidiscipline database, there is extensive coverage in the area of literature. You should have no problems finding articles related to your search. Project Muse can also be of help. It provides journal articles covering the fields of literature and criticism, history, the visual and performing arts, cultural studies, education, political science, gender studies, economics, and many others. Finally, there's Humanities International Complete. It provides journal coverage covering art, literature, history, and philosophy. It has extensive coverage of poetry journals and magazines. While I recommend starting off with MLA International Bibliography, any one of these databases will be good sources for literary scholarship. We've completed our goals: highlight background resources, look at some useful print resources, and explore 4 literary research databases. This is the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, robert.monge@usd.edu, or you can stop by the reference desk located on the first floor of the ID Weeks library for assistance.